Week 2, first game of the day, Workhorses versus the Heat. Eli Beard on the mound. He'd struggle, so insert Mike Anderson. And the Heat would take an early 6-3 lead. Jake Kocher for the Heat was pitching a gem until the third. Mike Hackett would single in a run. The Workhorses still down by 2. On defense, though, they were making the plays in the field. And in the fourth, Mike Anderson would put them ahead with a 2-run single, and the Workhorses would take the 7-6 lead and never look back as Mike Anderson continued to pitch well and took care of business, striking out Steve Gaffney to end the game. The final was 10-8. Game 2, Bombers versus the Heat. Jake Kocher would remain on the mound, and he'd remain striking guys out. Chris Torborg, he was pitching well too in the beginning until he'd struggle and hit Josh Swan in the head, and later in the game he'd have another. Josh Swan leading the league in hit by pitches. John Voos, I may be a sub, but I can still hit. He'd double off the fence, and in the fourth, Jake, I can spread my wings, Kocher. He hits a home run, a 3-run shot in the fourth, and the Heat would mercy him in the fourth. Bombers trying to come back in the fifth. Chris Peterson with the triple, but the Heat just too much, and Matt Hines would strike out him, and he wasn't frustrated. Heat win this one 15-6. Game 3, Bombers versus the Lightning. Matt Donegan on the mound, and he just couldn't find the board. Matt Hayes would come in to relieve him, and he'd get a ground ball to third and a double play out of it as they touch 3, get Matt Hines looking good except for at the plate. The Lightning struggling early on. Into the second, Jake Lindowski, runners in scoring position, lines one. Josh Neff makes the catch and gets Sisson for the double play, the second one on the day. Condam would get things going in the third with a single, and Josh, I've had enough of this. A 2-run single to left, and later in the inning, another as the Lightning would mercy him in the third, but in the end, the Bombers just too much. Jake Lindowski had a solid game at the plate, and Chris Peterson, his home run here, that sealed the deal. Bombers win this one 27-11. Game 3, Terrapins versus the Suns, and Jake McEwen would help the Terrapins get 5 runs off Trevor Swan into the first, and then they'd put in Adam Pratt, and it was pretty much game over. He was throwing straight fire for 3 straight innings, got 9 strikeout, and at the plate his 2-run single would help keep the Suns in it, only down by 3. In the fifth, though, he would hit a wall. He could not find the zone, and the Terrapins would get 7 runs in the inning, and on defense, well, they were playing a good game. Here's Hall getting it out at first, and he gets J.T. Williams trying to sneak home, and that wasn't the only good play on D. Williams at the plate this time, right to McEwen. He'd turn 2 at second, and that's all Ian Hall would need as he pitched very well, only letting up 4 runs. Terrapins win this one 12-4. Final game of the day was the Terrapins versus the Senators, and Chris Wilson struggling in the beginning. Tommy Taylor off the fence for a double, and Kevin Hammond a little slap hit right there. The Senators take an early lead 6-3 with the help of the minor league system. There's Dylan Peck and Clay Barron getting a couple hits, and on defense, Clay Barron showing signs of Derek Jeter with that backhander there, but the good fortune would come to an end in the fourth. Jake McEwen hit the square button on that one, would send a grand slam over the fence, but Tommy Taylor would answer a home run of his own, and in the end, the Terrapins just way too much for the Senators. They'd start crushing the ball. This one straight up the middle over Kevin Hammond's head, and in the end, they just ran out of hits as the Terrapins win this one 26-17.